All right, Joe's bored. I'm Joe. This is the show. It is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. On the day I hit record, and the Final Four is set. There's torpedoes in baseball. Jimmy Haslam had a swing and a miss. And much, much more. Oh, yeah, the White Lotus is fucking boring. It's fucking boring. I hate to break it to you. And we're brought to you, as always, by our guy, Jake from Progressive at Progressive Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. If you are in need of a new vehicle, go to Progressive in Massillon, Ohio. That is Progressive Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. Walk in that bad boy, ask for Jake. Jake's going to make sure he gets you in something that is right for you. Once again, that is Jake from Progressive at Progressive Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Joe's Board. We have a Final Four in men's basketball and women's basketball. I'll be damned if I could tell you who is in the women's bracket. That's on me. That's my bad. Because I've been trapped in the spin cycle once again. The tournament, in my eyes, has been lackluster is not the word that a lot of people are using. It's been good. We are where we need to be. The best four teams in the country are in the Final Four. For those of you saying that the tournament stunk, you just have a big poop in your pants, okay? This tournament was awesome. Where this Final Four is going to, you've got high level basketball at the collegiate level about to happen in San Antonio, Texas on Saturday evening. Again, if you were upset about this tournament, you have a big poop in your pants. The good teams won. Everybody played up until they couldn't anymore to the competition. I enjoyed the basketball I watched. People, yeah, there's a few good games, but you know what? That's what you get sometimes when you have teams that are bar none better than the rest of the field. That's why we don't need to expand the tournament, okay? We do not need to expand this tournament. It's the same thing with football. We already have 68. What is adding more teams going to do to the fact that no matter how many more teams you added to this tournament, you were still going to end up with a scenario that had all four one seeds going to the Final Four and ones versus twos and maybe 1-3 making it to the Elite Eight. That's what you ended up with this year. Adding more teams to a tournament like this does nothing for it. You can go ahead and start the crown. You can go ahead, keep the NIT, and there's like one more that happens that I'm forgetting, and probably several others at this point. But you do not need to expand the tournament in any capacity, shape, or form. I think 68 is already too many. The first four is a joke. You've had a couple of runs with UCLA, and I believe McNeese State went on a run at one point coming out of the first four, which hurts my argument a little bit, but I grew up where you didn't have a first four. I'm able to acknowledge the fact that that's my grown man yelling at cloud moment. I'm getting older. I've been able to adapt to change, and where I was going with this was that you do not need tournament expansion. You gotta bear with me, folks. Hey, one time for the one time. Welcome back. Cheers. Happy probably Thursday when you're watching or listening. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Shout out to Cavs Frog on the YouTube. Subscribe, you can see it. Cavs beat the Knicks, beat the shit out of the Knicks. Cavs are the best team in the NBA. I'm not the. Don't yell at me. Record says what it says. I don't care about the Western Conference. Fuck you. But we don't need tournament expansion. Same thing in college football. Everybody would, sure, maybe different teams could have got in, and if you add maybe 16, you were able to differentiate and then not get as mad, but it was going to end up how it was going to end up. Notre Dame is the outlier and all that because they ended up toppling Georgia. But that's what you get when you have what you have and all of this stuff. So anyway, no to tournament expansion. You have a big poop in your pants if you thought this tournament was lame. You just don't like collegiate basketball, and that's okay. Just admit that. You don't have to say that something stunk. Not everything is meant to have an opinion that's so, like, you don't have to ride the wave of the media being like, oh, this fucking stunk, oh, this and that. No, you can just say, I don't usually watch college basketball because that's what most people don't do. And it's okay to say, I don't like this brand of ball. Yeah, I much prefer watching the pro game. That's fine. So don't give out your college hoops takes. All right. This Final Four is going to rock. Not only do you have an SEC rematch between Florida and Auburn, that's going to be electric. It's going to be electric. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. That's what Vegas thinks too. There's a lot of points that are going to be scored in this game, which leads me to believe that it's going to be a high defensive. These teams know each other. They've played each other already a couple of times. It's hard to shoot a basketball in a football stadium. I'm sure you've listened and heard people talk about that. That, excuse me, it's hard to shoot in a football stadium. I think there's going to be less points because of that. You're going to have to work the ball inside. And Auburn, man, if Janai Broome, that was scary. That was scary what happened to Janai Broome on Sunday. If Janai Broome is healthy, it's all systems go for this Auburn team. And I've loved watching this Florida team play ball. I really have enjoyed watching this Florida team as of late play the game of basketball. And they've cashed me a lot of overs thus far in March Madness. But goddamn, man. Auburn is a train that cannot be stopped right now. And on the other side, you have two completely different styles of ball going at each other in the Duke Blue Devils and the Houston Cougars. Holy moly, what another matchup, man. It's going to be high-level ball Saturday night. High-level intensity. There's a lot of... Can Houston play their fast, aggressive pace, miss shots, and be able to recover against a squad like Duke? Duke's got it all. Cooper Flagg is healthy. Con Knipple, if he's able to hit that J in a football stadium, that's going to be dangerous. Proctor's a fucking animal. Malawatch cleaning up on the boards. Malawatch reminds me so much of Adama Sanogo. I believe I've said that before on the show. But it's going to be crazy, man. That's going to be a great Saturday night. If you're one of those people that are fucking, this tournament stinks, I'll 99.8% guarantee you that this tournament's going to fucking rock. This Final Four is going to fucking rock, I mean. A lot of high-level ball. I wouldn't be mad either way. I wouldn't be mad how any of the chips fell. I want to see Auburn versus Duke. I think they've been the two best teams in the country all year. They play such high-level basketball. It makes me want to throw up in a good way. And I'd be really excited on Monday night if that were the case of Auburn versus Duke. That's really what I'm rooting for. If you want to pick, I would take the over in the Duke and Houston game. I got it at like 132.5 where I got it, and I think there's going to be more points scored than that. That's my Final Four preview. Jeez, Alvin, sorry if y'all can hear that. Let's finally talk a little football. Let's finally talk a little football, shall we? As I said, I've been waiting until around this time to talk a little football. Let's have a little chat. So this offseason, Myles Garrett is back with the Cleveland Browns after going on Radio Row and making a fool out of not only himself, but the city of Cleveland and the Browns fan base as a whole, saying I would just want to play anywhere that's going to give me a ring. Well, apparently money fucking talks. And I believe I've talked about that. We've traded Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Philadelphia Eagles for Super Bowl champion, guy who knows how to win, guy who definitely knows how to take a knee, Hands are definitely not the size of a guy at a carnival that takes your ticket before you get on a ride. Kenny Pickett. Not only have they done that, but Kirk Cousins was spotted at a Chipotle and a barbecue spot in Westlake, I believe it was, and also responded on X.com, the everything app. It's all happening on X. Uh, Comment on the photo that was taken. Salad with double chicken never failed me. So from here on out, I'm making this fucking promise on this show. I will only be eating salads with double chicken from Chipotle from here on forward until the Kirk Cousins trade happens or doesn't. If it happens, it's the order until he's no longer the quarterback. Right now, it's the order until they tell me he's not the quarterback. So, speaking of Browns quarterbacks, something I never thought I'd ever hear or see in my lifetime as a fan of sports. An owner of mine, I shouldn't say owner of mine, an owner of a team that I root for, actually took accountability for a mistake that he made. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Jimmy Haslam called the Deshaun Watson trade a big swing and a miss. What? What? Did he really just take after? And I ripped him to shreds a couple episodes ago. I still would much rather be me than him, but it's that fucking Godfather 3. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in type shit, and I was never gonna be out, but I was definitely disinterested about Cleveland Browns football. That just brought me all the way back in. That literally, and I don't give a fuck. I don't give a literal fuck what Deshaun Watson posts on Instagram or TikTok or he's gone. It's over. He will no longer be playing quarterback for the Cleveland Browns ever again, and I couldn't be more thrilled. The fact that the owner said, if you want to blame anybody, blame me, and I'm not going to blame D. D only takes shots because D Haslam is on the piece of paper as well. Maybe she calls a little shots, I don't know. But all my hatred is directed towards Jimmy. Because, and Jimmy is actually really doing his due diligence for this draft. He really is. They're going everywhere. They're saying the right things. I could give you what I think's going to happen, but even when I think about it and I start seeing things, the smoke. We're in smoke season, man. We're like 3-4 weeks away, probably 3 weeks from now. Let's see. Let me check that out. We are 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, and anybody could be saying anything just to make sure that what they want happens. You've seen the movie Draft Day. What are the Browns going to do it too? I don't think it's going to be quarterback. I definitely don't think it's going to be quarterback at all. I don't think we're going there. My heart wants Abdul Carter just because him on the opposite side of Myles Garrett would be the scariest pass rush in football until Abdul would prove me wrong. But I want that for the All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year, future Hall of Famer Myles Garrett, all the help he can get. But if they took Travis Hunter, I would be absolutely A-okay with that. Because as I believe I've said before, you play him as a receiver, you have your slot next to Jerry Jeudy. He comes in on third down specialties as a DB because it'd be no different than a guy who plays wide receiver or defensive back playing special teams. And he upgrades the worst offense in football tremendously. Tremendously. And I'm not going to lie, if Cam Ward slides, then I don't blame the Browns for drafting Cam Ward at 2. If for some reason the Tennessee Titans take somebody other than Cam Ward, and Cam Ward is who the Browns have been in love with at the quarterback position this entire time, and they take him, I can't be mad at that because they got the guy that was number 1 on their board. But I sort of see the vision, especially if the Kirk Cousins thing materializes, and even if it doesn't, the Kenny Pickett thing isn't crazy to me. It really isn't. It's not crazy to me. Granted, it's going to drive me nuts, but something about a guy who is trying to revive his career, who just got out of an organization, who won the Super Bowl, saw how that day to day goes. Granted, it is the Philadelphia Eagles, and we know how dysfunctional things can be in Philadelphia, not just as an Eagle, but as any kind of professional athlete. And Stefanski has shown that if you're willing to listen and run the offense how it needs to be ran, the Browns can be successful. Now, am I going to look like Kevin Stefanski when I watch Kenny Pickett fumble the snap? Shout out whoever made that meme. Hilarious. Yes, I will. On the 3rd snap of the game. Of the season, actually. But, depending on who they draft, what are you going to do? And if they can't get Kirk Cousins, and I don't know. I just... The draft will tell you everything you need to know. And somebody said that Kirk's not going to waive his no trade clause. He's not going to get traded before the draft, which I don't know, man. The NFL has shown you that anything is possible, and that at the drop of a hat, anything can happen. And I've been on record on this show saying, when the media and the talking heads say one thing, start to believe the next. So I don't know. I'm just happy that my owner took accountability, and I'm all the way back in on the Browns. We're gonna start talking a lot more about the Cleveland Browns on this show. Um, Aaron Rodgers might be a Pittsburgh Steeler. That's next on the list. Would be absolutely hilarious. I think the old man is cooked. Um, would be great for us. I actually think it should happen, could happen, possibly is going to happen because he was working out with DK Metcalf in Los Angeles, I believe, recently. Trey Hendrickson was on the Pat McAfee show today and said he was disappointed in the comments by their team president on contract negotiations. Think it's absolutely hilarious. Think it has everything to do with them spending money on Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to help Joe Burrow. Hey, you got the weapons, but nobody to block for him and no defense. But hey, I think it's great. I think what Katie Blackburn has said is, on brand for Cincinnati Bengal football. And the last thing I have is the White Lotus is fucking boring. So spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. What the fuck are we doing? We're 7 episodes in, 8 episodes in, and what could have been a good storyline with homie about to get busted for whatever tax fraud or evasion he's doing has turned into him just taking pills and playing Russian roulette in his head about killing himself and his family. Like, what are we even... And then the brothers of that family having a cowboy handshake on the yacht with old girl Jenny Coolidge's beau, who I had no idea. I knew he looked familiar. I didn't know it was Uncle Rico. I was, the day I heard that, years old when I found out that he is Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Blew my fucking mind. I really hope Belinda does not get shot. Here's what I think. I think homie, I think his name is Tim, bro. That's how boring it's been. The characters have not been able to stick in my brain. The Walton Goggins storyline's gotten fucking weird. It's all just, it's just as boring as the first season was. I don't know. I'm gonna finish it. I'm here. We're doing the thing, but it's just fucking boring. If you haven't watched it yet, I would say don't waste your fucking time. The show probably won't get renewed for another season unless the finale is an absolute banger. As I said, we're 7 episodes in, I believe, maybe 8, I don't know. But that's all I got for y'all. Happy to check in. I'll definitely see you Monday to talk about the national championship. All you Cleveland Guardians fans, fucking relax. It's April 2nd and game 6, I believe. What are we even talking about? You got to figure out who's who, where to put them. We'll talk more baseball too. But enjoy the Final Four. Everybody enjoy their weekend. Go sports. Stay safe, y'all.